So let's talk about how private lenders actually make money. You're trying to maximize one or two things. You're trying to maximize yield in every situation. And some people get confused and think yield is the same thing as the interest rate. It is not. Yield is the annualized rate of return on your money. And you calculate that by taking the amount of money that comes back to you in interest and points and divide that by the total investment you made in the loan. Get that number and then multiply it by how many times a year you can turn that money over. For instance, if I did a loan, if I loaned out $100,000, that's my total investment, and I earned a 10% return, I earned $10,000 of revenue, then my return is 10%. But let's say I did that every 3 months. So I could take that 10% and multiply it by 4 quarters, 4 times. My yield annualized is now 40%. So that velocity of money, how many times you can turn over those same dollars within a year can make a dramatic difference in your yield. So if I loaned $100,000 at 10% for 12 months, one 12-month loan, my return is just 10%, assuming no points. If I had 2 6-month loans, my 10% yield just went up to 20%. See, if I do that same loan 3 times, it's 30%. And if I do it 4 times, it's 40%, all on that same $100,000. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys, because I know I'm going kind of fast to get through all the slides. But so we want to maximize the yield, and we're looking at it by how much interest. So our interest rate is important. The number of points we're getting on a loan is important. Any equity share is important. And the velocity of money, how many times we can turn that over in a year, is important. So we want to maximize that yield. If you're using other people's money, you want to maximize the spread. And the spread is the amount that you're making from what you charge the borrower minus the amount you're paying for other people's money. So in my example above, if I made 10%, $10,000, but I had to pay an underlying lender 8%, I'm only making that 2% spread, right? So I would not make $10,000, I'd make $2,000. But it's not my money, it's somebody else's money. So keep in mind, yield and spread, very important. All right, other ways that private lenders can make money, and let me be transparent here. I don't charge pretty much any of these. I'll charge points and interest rate, but I don't charge an occasional extension fee. I don't charge a due diligence fee. I don't charge a payoff demand fee. I don't charge, sometimes I've done an escalator if it's an equity share, and I can explain that a little bit. But, be careful, by the way, if you're a borrower, make sure that all these fees are disclosed to you up front, because you can think you're just paying 10% and 2 points, and then the payoff demand comes, and your lender has tacked on a whole bunch of fees. So just, if you're the borrower, ask about these fees. If you're the lender, look at this list of fees and you decide what you feel right charging and what you don't want to charge. I want it to be a win-win for everybody. So I'm going to charge a viable interest rate and points, and I'm not going to load up on these miscellaneous fees. But that's just me. You can do it the way you want to. All right. So private lending, perfect wealth accumulator. Let's talk about that. You can read this list, but it's passive relatively. You can make it recurring. It's not a job job. You can use your money. You can use your self-directed IRA money. You can use other people's money, and other people's money, you can either co-lend with other people. You can wrap somebody else's money, and we'll show you an example of that later. You can set up a fund, and if you have more experience, and literally raise money through other investors to use to make loans. There are several friends of mine that do that. You can make some pretty extraordinary yields. You control the risk. You're in the lowest position of risk of anyone in the deal, in my opinion. You can forecast your income, because assuming everything is paid as it's supposed to, you can set a predetermined yield and forecast what your income is going to be. You've got cash flow. It's easy to understand. It's replicable, scalable. If it's outside your IRA, it's a little hard to do in your IRA. And you can do it really from anywhere. We call it a backpack business. You have a computer or a smartphone, an internet, a printer. You can do it just about anywhere. Printer, scanner, DocuSign. Serves the #1 need in real estate, and it can be done on vacation. So I think it's a great way to be an investor.